Good afternoon. Alright, so trading today on the micro ES. Did all right. I could have done a lot better. Um, in terms of not pulling my trades too soon. The action is still kind of kind of wild. Uh, this spike at the end here is Nvidia, and the top set platform closes before that stuff comes out, so I wasn't in there. But I pretty much the beginning of this was a little bit tough. It's hard to know what it was doing. Then I was able to catch some of this move. I caught some of this down piece. I think I took a trade up in here in this channel that took part of that. I also caught. I ended up a couple of scalps in here as well. So just sort of commenting on my own stuff. So let's see. I mean, I made some money today, not a lot, but that's fine. Definitely realizing that I need to pay attention to volume and price action. I haven't been able to figure out why, but people seem to think the volume that somehow price action alone is good enough, and it is. But I don't know why you wouldn't also look at volume, because there are some subtle things going on in volume if you start really paying attention to it. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Couple things that I missed out on. I missed out on this really obvious false breakout and then swing down. So I really should have been able to catch it. I think I was probably doing something else. I was probably, I wasn't able to trade at that moment and didn't notice that I missed that bar. I'm a little annoyed at this piece here because I did actually short here, and then it just kind of, it felt to me like it was going too slow and it wasn't going to become a trade, and I just decided to get out, and of course the whole thing went down. So yeah, a lot to work on. I wonder if there's a way I can turn on no, I haven't figured out how to turn on the executions. Auto, lock price, move scale, up down settings, no, labels. So I'll have to figure that out. You'd see I actually made quite a few trades. One of the things I am starting to do is manage trades in an interesting way where you put a trade on, and the idea is, like, for example, did I take one of these? I don't remember. I know I caught this down piece here, but that's an example, is putting in your stop sell, watching it execute, taking it out, getting out down in here somewhere, and being able to see what you were doing in real time. Like, if I had taken that trade and it had sort of stalled out and sort of gone sideways, then I might have just gone out of it. And I'm going to have to play with that some. I think I don't necessarily need a reason to get out of trades too soon, but I think it is true that the best trades have a tendency to work really quickly. Like this particular one here, if I zoom in on it, this bar, it closed on its low, and I was watching that, and then I just immediately sold, and you could see as soon as the bar broke, this next one broke, it was just immediately down here. Like, it didn't have any time. So there were a bunch of people doing the same thing, and that, I think, that's usually a good sign. When you take a trade and it immediately goes in your favor, versus when you take a trade and it just sort of is just kind of lounging. I also had another weird thing happen where I think I went long here, and for some reason got out, and I probably should have stayed in, but for, in terms of what would have been the right thing to do, but I ended up avoiding this wick, which is kind of amusing. And I don't think I know where this came from. This is random. I'm sure there was some news item or something that happened, but it just came out of nowhere and wicked the EMA out there. So that would have probably taken out my stop, but somehow I avoided that. So I don't know. I really wish that these systems had a way to total up the number of ticks that you had gained in your trades and not the dollar amount. I don't think the dollar amount is really what I should be focusing on. I think that the number of ticks is probably more important, and I'd like to see that. That would be pretty cool. Not even ticks per contract, or the number of contracts doesn't even matter, just the ticks. That would be pretty useful, because you'd be able to basically say, in fact, it'd be cool if they could score you. You could say, well, what was the total range of the day in ticks, and how many of those did you capture? And that would be a way to actually score people. You could say, oh, I got 10% today or something, which would be amazing. So anyway, that's just a thought. All right, well, we'll see how tomorrow goes. I did do, let's see, I was on a Euro Yen. Let me see if I can pull it over here. I had Euro Yen set up assuming it was going to range back up. It was going to do this, and it went sideways. Didn't do anything. I ended up getting out with a small profit, so I probably should have done this on the euro instead. As you see, the euro actually did do a bit of a range stuff there, so I could have bought this morning and held it, and probably should have, but hindsight. So that's it for now. Thanks.